gamers, this is Joe from What I'm Playing Now, and we are live with another playthrough of another game. Today we're going to be playing, my player 2 is under the weather today, so I'm going to be doing a solo game. Today we're going to be playing The Pursuit of Happiness with the community expansion. This was put out by Artipia Games and Stronghold Games. It's a worker placement style game. I would say it's kind of a lighter worker style placement game. Not too heavy. The community expansion does add some real nice things to it. Let's jump over to the table and I'll give a quick teach on how the game's played. And then we can get through a solo game and I'll tell you what you have to do for a solo game. Right now I do have it set up for a solo style game. For a 2-player game, I don't think you would change anything else other than you would probably see another set of tokens over here for Kim. There would be 2 cubes over there and then another cube over here on the track, which is the long-term happiness track. Everybody's going to start out the game with 6 hourglass workers, and with the community expansion, you're going to have 1 worker meeple that you're going to be able to place on the community cards. The game starts out with an upkeep phase, which you can pretty much kind of skip during the first round. You pretty much just start off doing your normal stuff, and I'll tell you what makes up the solo game here once I go through the normal teach of the game. During your upkeep phase, what you're going to do is you advance the round marker over here. This is your different rounds. You will discard all the cards from the board, all the cards, including the community cards. During the first round, during your teen years, you don't set out any jobs, you don't set out any partners, and there's no community cards when you're playing with that expansion. Based on your stress that is going to be down here, you could either get additional workers, different additional hourglasses, or you can possibly lose them as you move along the stress track later on in the game. You count the total number of active projects, jobs, and partners. You kind of have 3 areas in front of you that you're able to keep your cards. Normally you're going to have 1 project, 1 partner, 1 job as well. You can have multiple partners. If you do that, you're going to take additional stress when you take the additional partner, as well as during this part of the upkeep phase. You can also have more than 3 cards in front of you for those, out of those 3 cards that they kind of tell you can have. But if you do that during this part of the phase, you're also going to take more stress. I've actually played a game where I did not take a partner, and I had 2 projects that I was trying to work on at multiple times throughout the game. It worked. Kim didn't beat me by too bad that game. So that is viable. I really didn't care for some of the stuff that the partners were giving in some of the resources that you were able to get from them earlier on in the game. And then when finally some of the ones did come out, I just was already working on projects, didn't want to take the extra stress. So I really didn't want to go for that. And then you're also going to have some upkeep cost on some cards, like this car right here. As you go down into some of the lower parts, lower levels of the card, it will have a cost over here in the column, as well as a reward that you'll be able to get. So if I have a family car, it would cost me 3 money each round, and I would get 1 long-term happiness. Long-term happiness is the victory point in this game. So that's the upkeep phase. And then you would jump over to the action phase, where everybody's going to get to utilize their workers. The different areas you're going to be able to go to on the board, you have 3 areas up here, which are just going to give you straight resources. You have knowledge, influence, and I can't remember what the third one is. And Kim's going to kill me because we had all of that worked out. And I can't remember what the hourglass is. So I got to look it up real quick because that's going to bug the hell out of me. Creativity. That's what they are. So you have knowledge, creativity, and influence. The other things you could do during your round, you can take one of the projects, which is the blue cards over here. Projects have to be started at level 1, and then you'll actually be able to use actions on these cards to go into the lower levels by paying additional resources to get the rewards on the right-hand side of the cards. I'm going to be looking at all this stuff upside down. I don't know if I've really ever played this game upside down before, so I may have to flip a lot of the cards around for me to really see everything really good. All right, spend. You can do a spend action, which is to get an item or an activity. I have a couple people talk to me in chat. Hey, everybody in chat. Darth Molly, yes, this is basically a kind of like life on steroids. It is It is basically the worker placement game of life, I guess you could say. But back to the spend action. The spend action lets you purchase the green cards. Activities or items are what those are. You can have as many of those as you want, because activities and items and doing things just like in the game of real life, it kind of makes you feel good. So you can have as many of those as you want, as long as you can afford them. And if they have an upkeep cost, you have to be able to pay the upkeep on them. The last thing that you can do over here on the board is a temp job. That just gives you straight up 3 money. There are 3 other actions on the board. During your teen years, you can't do them. What they are is you can get a job. There will be 2 jobs that will be coming out. There's 3 different levels of jobs, and there's also different stats, I guess you could say, kind of in those jobs. There's like art, there's like an art job, there's like a social job. So if you ever want to actually be promoted within like a social job, if you're on a level 1 social job, you would have to promote yourself up to a level 2 social job. You can actually start at a level 2 or level 3 job if you can actually afford the resources when you first grab those cards. So that is possible. You don't have to start off with level 1. I normally like to start off with a level 2 or level 3. I normally don't like to do a level 1 because sometimes it's really a pain in the ass to wait for the right card to come out for you to kind of be promoted and promote yourself to. So that's why I try to just jump right into a level 2 or level 3 and save up my resources for that. The other thing you can do over here is start a relationship. You will have a couple of partners that come out. These cards, I kind of have all the cards set over on the first set of the cards. These cards are really supposed to be off the board, but for the purposes of the video and trying to make everything look a little bit better, I kind of just threw all the cards on the first track. So I kind of just have all these cards set, flipped over on top of themselves. The job card and the partner card, these cards actually are cards that are used to cover up, because both of those cards are double-sided. They actually have a female on one side, a male on the other on the partners, and then the job has 2 different job titles, but it has the same skill costs, and the resource costs and the same type of rewards. It's just whether you want to be a doctor or something else when you're picking that. The community cards, huge stack of community cards, which is for the expansion. They actually allow you to do different, what are they called? You're going to be engaging with the community cards, and some of them are multiplayer. Some of them will have a little icon in the upper left-hand corner, I think it is, that will allow multiple people to go there. Others, just one person can go there. You will do an engage action, which could possibly cost a resource, or just let you put a worker there, one of your meeple there, to be able to do that. And then later on, during the end of round phase after that, there's going to be a phase for the community outcome. You're going to choose which outcome level. There's 3 different levels on each of the community cards, and you're going to choose which one you want to receive the rewards for. The lower you go, or the higher you go, I guess, from level 1, 2, 3, and you can pick any one of those. The higher you go, there is a more of a cost resource-wise for that, but there's also more of a reward. And the interesting thing with the community is you have this new popularity track down here. At the end of this community outcome phase, you're going to look to see where you're at on the popularity track, and you're going to get long-term happiness based on that, and then you're going to fall down just 1 spot on that track. Those are pretty much all of the actions you can do. You'll see me taking the card actions, and I'll explain those as we go along. For a solo game, for a multiplayer game, normally what you're going to do is everybody's going to get 2 of these child trait cards, and you're going to pick one. I'm going to deal 2 out to myself real quick and pick one. This will kind of tell me, I don't want to say what type of person I am, but one of the things is a nerd. Whenever I do a study action, I get +1 knowledge. And then it tells me my starting resources on the side of the card. My computer is across the room for me today because of the way I have everything situated. So I can't do my handy little dandy card trick that I've been doing in the last couple of videos. I probably should have tried to get that a little bit closer to me, but I didn't know if it would reach with all the cords because of the way I had to kind of rearrange everything for a solo play of this one. The other one is productive. Whenever I get paid for my job, I gain $1 more. I think we've had productive before. I don't think Kim and I have ever had the nerd child trait before. So I think we're going to go with that. As starting resources, I'm going to go ahead and take 4 knowledge. I'm going to take 3 creativity. And I remember the word that time. And then I'm going to take 3 influence as well. And I have a little tray over here with all of the stuff that I need. Now, here is where a solo game is a little bit different. You have these life goals. These are normally utilized at the end of the game. They're kind of like end game goals that you're trying to reach. In a solo game, you're going to flip over 3 of these. Normally you will flip over however many players you have. So when Kim and I normally play, we're flipping over 2. But in a solo game, I'm going to flip over 3. On the bottom of each card, there is, it says solo game. Have at most 2 knowledge, 2 creativity, and 2 influence when you die. So I'm focused that way. This one is Zen. I die after the 2nd round of old age. I normally do that anyway. So let's see if I can hopefully pull that off and do that one. Also, die when entering old age or earlier. Well, those two kind of conflict each other. Live fast, die young. Die when entering old age or earlier. Okay, I don't know if you could have Zen and live fast, die young, because one is die after the 2nd round of old age. The other is die when entering old age or earlier. We're going to put live fast, die young back, since that was the last one we drew, and draw another one, because I don't think those two go together. And the way you win in a solo game, normally without community, you have to achieve all 3 of the life goals on the cards and get 50 points. With community, it's pretty much the same, but you got to get 60 points. So 60 long-term happiness is what I'm going for, as well as trying to reach all 3 of these. We're going to done it all. Participate in at least 5 activities. Participate in at least 5. Oh, wow. So that's going to be the green cards. And that could be a little tricky to actually achieve because right now I have 1 activity out and 2 items. So I'm going to have to really try to focus on grabbing activities and skipping items for my spend action. So let me cover these back up. These 3 will become available during the first adult phase. Right now we're going to be starting the first round of the teen phase. And I think I'm pretty much ready to go. I think I've pretty much explained everything. I've explained the new community. I will say, a little spoiler, the community stuff, Kim and I both think that it does add a little bit more to the game. It doesn't make it that much harder. It adds maybe another 10 minutes per player or so, but I wouldn't say it adds too much complexity to the game. It actually, I think, rounds it out rather nicely. The base game itself is a fine worker placement game, a little lighter for our styles, but community actually gives us just a little bit more interactivity. I would say there really isn't too much take that you would notice in a 2-player game. Probably the most take that is if you take a card that somebody else kind of really wanted to. I don't really think there is too much take that. Maybe Kim can correct me. I think she's in chat kind of watching this. Maybe she can correct me if I'm wrong here. But I don't really think there's too much screw your neighbor over in this style of game, other than maybe taking a card. You can't really do too much to harm your opponent. So I'm going to start off. So one of the first things we need to do is get us some money, because probably taking that activity right away would be a really good thing. So let's start off doing a temp job and get some money, because we really don't have a job in our teen years. We can't take a job. So let's go to a concert. So we're going to spend some of our money that we just earned at our temp job. I'm going to take this. I'm going to spend $1. And because there's different levels on the card, for $1, I can get 2 creativity and 1 short-term happiness. Short-term happiness, if you increase on this track over here, this was something I had not explained, it will actually let you decrease the cost of resources that you do when you're purchasing your projects or that you're spending on your projects. So I'm going to see a local band. I'm going to just do the level 1 action because I don't want to spend all my money seeing a popular band. So it's going to cost me 1 money. I'm going to take 2 creativity from the little bin over here. And I'm also going to get that 1 short-term happiness. So if I actually wanted to start a project right now, and one of the projects that Kim and I usually like to try to watch out for is there's projects with a heart. Your stress track down here is kind of very important. If you ever stress yourself out so much that you're off the board here, you pretty much just died. So you want to try to keep your stress in check, just like in real life, something I don't do that Kim yells at me all the time about. No, not a lot of take that. You're correct. Oh, yep, Kim agreed with me. So You'll notice that there's different colored kind of tracks here along the stress track, just like in the short-term happiness. Short-term happiness lets you decrease your resources when you're doing the projects. It also lets you figure out whoever's furthest along that track. It decides who first player is in a multiplayer game. Don't need to worry about that in a solo game. But back to the stress track. You'll see there's different colors here. If I ever increase up to the next color, there's cards that are going to allow me to maybe do a rest action, which would let me go down in the stress track. The thing is, you can never cross into a different color when you're going down, when you're relaxing. The only thing that takes you down is this little heart symbol, which are on some of the project cards. There are very far and few between cards in this whole stack of blue cards over here that have that heart symbol on them. So when getting first player in this game, I would say that is probably the best thing to have first player for, is to try to just grab one of those project cards when one of those heart symbols comes out. Because if you can actually get down to that heart symbol, wherever you're at in a particular column here, in a color. So if I'm on this first, blue track, I would go down to the first in the next color if I got one of those heart symbols. So it's not just letting you move down to the next color, it's keeping you in the same column, but moving you down to that next color below you. So you can see that's really going to be able to increase your lifespan to let you maybe get into some of these later old age years. Because pretty much once you hit this last old age, you're taking 9 stress. If you haven't obtained one of those heart symbols, you're toast. You're dead. There's pretty much nothing else you're going to be able to do. Since I did take an activity, let's get back to the game and I'll quit teaching real quick. I'm going to move this card over here. I'm going to flip over another card. Oh, and we have another activity. So here's something interesting. I've done one spend action. If I want to do multiple actions of something, it will only cost me 1 worker, but anytime I do that, it's going to cost me a stress. Because if you're doing the same thing repetitively or too much, more than once basically, it's kind of stressed. You kind of get stressed out about it. So I would love to take that activity, but I don't really think I want to start taking stress right now until I can get a project that is going to allow me to get that heart symbol on there. So I think right now we're probably just going to start collecting resources, because during the first round, you're kind of limited with what you can pretty much do. Although getting that activity, because these cards are going to be wiped at the end of the round, getting that activity for a stress, I could always do a rest later to come back down to that spot. I may actually do that. Let's just get some resources here real quick. I'm doing an interact, which is going to get me 3 creativity. 3, I'm taking the wrong one. It's going to give me 3 influence. I'm going to do a play action, which is the creativity. And then I'm going to take a study action. Since I'm a nerd, I'm going to get +1 knowledge. So we're going to get to take 4 of those. So I'm pretty much set resource-wise right now. I have 1 action left. I could either take a project, but if a blue one comes out next time, I really don't want to have 2 projects in front of me in case if I want to take a job and a partner. If the partner kind of, allows me to have some pretty good resources. I like that there's a single player option here as well. Yeah, Darth Miley, this is the first time I played solo. Kim and I played several times. We were pretty much all set to go with a 2-player. She wasn't feeling good this evening, so I told her, I think there's a solo mode. Let me read the rules, and the rules were a paragraph saying, do 3 of these cards and get to 50 points with the base game, 60 points with community. That's kind of pretty much it. And these, like I said, the cards do have a solo game verbiage on the bottom, so it doesn't sound like really anything changes in the game. Because all of these actions can be done by multiple people. Even the community cards, like I said, a lot of the community cards will have that multiplayer action on them. There's a couple that are just 1 player can go to. And one thing I didn't mention is you have your meeple here that you can put down there. Once you get up to 1, 2, 3 popularity, you're allowed to start putting your hourglasses there. Whatever number you're at popularity-wise, you can not only use your worker down there, but for every number of popularity you have, you can put an hourglass down there. So you can actually do multiple community cards. And I did that one game, and I have to say it paid out quite well. So I think I really don't want to do a project because a couple of these are, this is a one-time action project. So this would actually finish at the end of the round. So I could actually take that and it would go away. I really don't have anything that's kind of making me focus on projects. So I'm more interested in getting that kind of heart symbol to try to make my longevity a little bit longer. This is a group project. Multiple people can do it. When you're picking this one, the most that any one person can do it is actually put 2 tokens on here, and you're going to get double the rewards that are at the bottom of that card. But I think I'm going to be a little crazy here. I'm going to do a spend action, and I'm actually going to take a stress for doing that since I did the same action twice. I'm going to go ahead and spend my last $2 here that I got and actually do this off-roading action, which I'm not even going to put a black cube on there to keep track of it because there's only the one thing on there. But it does give me 2 long-term happiness. So that is the end of the round phase. Let me change around my cards a little bit so we can actually, these can be in a little bit better order for the second round. End of round phase. I can gain additional rewards from group projects. So I had just mentioned this group project here. There's rewards along the bottom that you can get. If you have multiple, if you have 2, like I said, max of 2 hourglasses on one of these, you can get double those rewards. I didn't take that one, so we're going to skip that. Set aside single round and group projects. So your projects normally stay in front of you, but the single round and group ones actually get set aside now and would clear from your pool of that 3 cards that you have. You're going to take back all your hourglasses. So I'm going to take back my hourglasses. Kim and I normally kind of keep them on our child trait card just so we kind of know where all our workers are. If I was stressed out, I would actually lose one here, or if I actually was lower, I could actually gain an extra hourglass because there are extra hourglasses here over in my little bin here. I would count my total. Oh, that's upkeep. I'm looking at the wrong card. Determine next first round. I'm first player. Oh, by the way, here's the first player token. It is kind of like somebody standing by a sunset with a nice little palm tree here, which sounds pretty damn good to me, actually. I'm going to determine next player's first round based on this. Whoever is highest would get that. If there's a tie, it actually goes to the player furthest away from the person who is the start player right now. I'm going to be the start player. This actually resets. Your short-term happiness resets at the end of each round. At the end of the first round, these 3 tiles become available. So I'm just going to set these off here because once we hit the first old age, you can't do an overtime action. And I don't know if I actually mentioned what an overtime action is. I think I stopped on a relationship, got sidetracked, and skipped overtime. Overtime, putting 1 worker here, lets you take 2 workers, you get 2 stress. So that is another way you can get multiple workers if you kind of want to try to push yourself one round to get past something. Other than that, I would do the community cards right now, but since there are none of those out and that was the first round, we're going to go back to the upkeep phase. We advance into our first round of adulthood. We discard all the cards on the board. So what I normally do is, you normally have a discard pile, but like I said, I kind of have the first set here for the cards is kind of where I'm putting everything. So I'm just going to put them face up on the bottom. I'm going to flip out 3 new cards. And of course, we did not get something that would let me get a heart. So this time I may just do a group action or a group project just so it would get out of the way and I don't have multiple ones. We have to discard our activities. Oh, and you know what? Another activity should have flipped up when I took that other one. So that was carding. So that one's going to go to the bottom. The projects and items activity cards will always reset. Or I don't know if I want to say the word reset. Will always, you'll always turn over a new one whenever somebody takes one in a solo or single or in a solo or multiplayer game. Jobs and partners don't. Whenever somebody takes one, you don't put a new card out. So normally it says to set everything up like a 2-player game. So I'm going to play this like a 2-player game. In that, you know what? I wonder if just one is supposed to come out. Well, nope. There is no 2 icon, so we're going to put 2 out. So there's going to be 2 jobs available to me. There's a level 1 social job, event coordinator or journalist, or a level 2 engineer. And I may take that level 2 job because I want to start getting some money in here. Level 2 engineer or surgeon. So those are the 2 choices you have. Those are science jobs. Let's see who my choices of partners are this evening. All right, Kimmy, don't get jealous. It's just a game. We have Sonia or Catherine. On the other side, like I said, you have Cameron or Sean. So they did kind of make this game, whoever you want to take, you're more than free to take either side. Both sides are exactly the same. One side's male, one side's female. So Catherine actually has, wow, quite a bit of upkeep on her. She actually has upkeep during the dating phase, but she actually gives some pretty good resources. She wants you to have at least 3 projects completed to raise a family with her. During dating, it's actually two money for her, and then 1 and 2 resources. Sonia gives a lot of influence, but she wants you to have at least 4 items. Well, Sonia might not be good for me because I'm probably not going to be able to have 4 items because I'm going to be focusing on activities, and I just noticed 3 activities came out. So I may not be taking either of these partners. If I do, I might take Catherine, and even then, I'm not really too sure I'm going to take her. She does give a nice range of all the resources, so she might actually not be that bad to take. I'm going to have to stand up. Hey, Eric. Eric wants me to go with Sean. I'll consider that, Eric. Thank you. We're going to do 5 community cards. We have a soccer tournament, and it has the symbol over here for multiplayer. I will read these as I get to them and decide on them, but we're just going to flip 5 of them over right now. A couple of these I have seen before, and I think we are all set. I advance around marker. I discarded all cards from the board. Gain or lose hourglass. This is where you gain or lose hourglasses. Count the total number of projects, jobs, and partners. I have none of those in front of me. I just have activities. I would pay any upkeep costs. I have nothing over here that has upkeep costs as of right now. Action phase has started for the second round of the game. So I think one of the first things I might do is I might take this science job. It is going to cost me 6 knowledge, 2, 4, 6, which I actually have quite a bit, and then 3 creativity. I'm glad that I actually kept most of that stuff for the first round, because when I do that, I'm instantly going to get $11, which is going to allow me to take some of these activities, which should be pretty good, because I already have 2 activities, so I'm not going to go any crazier on activities and do that multiple times, although I might. We'll see what happens. So the first thing let's get a job, because I want to start making some money. So 6 knowledge. It's going back in the cup. 3 creativity is going in the cup. And I'm going to take, actually the way I put these cards should be here. That looks a little cleaner now. I was wondering why that didn't look right. I'm going to take the engineer job because I do not want to be a surgeon. Sorry. That's definitely not my cup of tea. Although, engineer, I'm not a big math fan either, as Eric knows, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm going to do that. I am going to get $11 right now. And I think what we're going to do then is we're going to take, I'm going to go to the park and take a stroll, do a stroll activity. It only has 1 section on it, and I actually, for this, get just 1 creativity, and I also get a relax action, which lets me move down my stress 1, which is one of the reasons why I took that. I think for my next action, I'm going to go ahead and start dating, and I think I'm going to take Sonia. I think we're going to go, no, I want Catherine. So we're going to date Catherine. So I'm going to try to move my cards here. I'm going to keep the green here, and I want to keep these 3 that I'm going to have to keep track of kind of off to the side, right in front of me, so I know what I'm doing. So I have to have the most activity. I have to have at least 5 activities, die after the second old age, and I got to try to get rid of all my resources, which is kind of very hard for me because I usually am a resource hog in this game, and I usually, yes, Eric, I'm trying to be you. because resources, for every 5 resources at the end of the game, it does count as a long-term happiness. So for dating Sonia, or Catherine, I mean, for dating Catherine, I'm going to get 1 knowledge. And I only get that extra knowledge when I study, so it's not like it's all the time. 1 creativity and 1 influence. So I've already done a majority of my actions here. A new card should have come out here. I'm getting a lot of activities here, and that kind of scares me because I have a feeling that later on in the game, when I need the activities to finish off the 5, they may not be here. So let's just hope that they actually continue coming out. So if I take a project right now, I don't think I want to take a longer project. I may do this. What I might do here is let's try to. She's going to need that. If I do a study action, I can get. The most I could do is a level 2 on that one, which isn't bad. But doing that 7 would be much better. I'm going to take a study action and get 4 knowledge. And then I want to do this game show project that's here. And I want to go to the to the 3rd level, which would give me 4 long-term happiness, but it's going to cost me all 7 of my knowledge. Now, Catherine does have an upkeep cost of 1 knowledge. And I don't see anything that's going to give me additional knowledge. My job is needing knowledge 2 as well. So I'm probably just going to have to stick with level 2 of that because there's really... I don't see any other way to get additional knowledge besides... That would give me 3. That wouldn't be enough. The 1 community card down there, Jury Duty, would actually give me 3 knowledge if I went down to the lowest level. It would chew up a bunch of my influence, which I have, and I can actually get more because I could always do an interact action to get some more influence. But I think I need to start working on my getting my popularity up. So I'm trying to see which one's going to get me the most popularity. There is a new family next door, which would get me 2 influence and 2 popularity down there. And there's a noisy neighbor, which would get me a relax and 2 popularity. I might go for, let's do this. I might be able to, that still wouldn't be enough because that would be 7 and I would still need more. I would almost have to take another study action and get an additional one, which I might actually do. Let's do that. Let's do a second study action and take 4 more. So I'm going to take a 5 one this time and put that back. It's going to cost me a stress. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the noisy neighbor. So right now I'm engaging with that card and it says I can't sleep. But that's all right because we're going to get some influence and it's going to give me a relax to put me back down on my stress level. So that was kind of the reason why I did that. So what I'm going to do with my last hourglass here is I'm going to take a project, and it's a single round project, and it is the game show. When you normally take a project, you normally have to start off at the first level and work your way down by putting workers on here. When you're doing a single round project, you can actually pick whichever one you want. So I'm going to take a black cube here, and I'm actually going to do the 3rd level because I can't afford the genius, but I'm going to become a finalist here. It's going to cost me 7, but that's going to leave me enough resources to be able to pay for my job and Catherine still, which is what I wanted to watch out for, because if you can't ever pay for these cards, you're going to take a stress, and then you're going to lose that card, which you really don't want to do. So when I become a finalist, it's going to give me 1 money, 1 dinero, and 4 long-term happiness. So it's going to bump me up to 6. And I think that's going to be the end of my round. There should have been a new card that came out here when I did that. And thank God it's not a heart, because that would have crushed me had it been. And I think that's pretty much going to be the end of the round. All of my workers are out. We've done everything that we're going to do. I'm going to gain additional rewards from group projects, which I don't have. I'm going to set aside single round and group projects. So my single round project is going to set out, so we're going to just set that over to the side there as a completed project. So I have that third slot open back up now again, which is one of the reasons why I took that. I'm going to take back my hourglass markers from the board. And during this time, you would return any if you actually did that overtime action. So if I had 2 additional ones, you're always going to have 6. But if you had done the overtime action and had 8, you would put 2 back away right now. I'm going to determine next round. I am first round player. There was nothing I did that actually increased my short-term happiness. So we're not going to, don't have to worry about resetting that. I'm going to reset all indicators. That stuff's already all reset. And now we actually jump to the community outcome phase. This is the first time we're actually doing this one. So since I put my worker down here on this card, let me actually grab this card so I can actually see it. I'm going to get to pick out one of the 3 outcomes that's on here. I'm going to go ahead and go over there and talk to my noisy neighbor. And for 3 influence, I'm actually going to get a relax, which is going to bump me down here. And I'm going to get to go up 2 on the popularity track. So all of these cards are going to reset at the end of the round. So when I reset the cards, I will do that. But one thing that does happen is, well, the cards don't all reset. The 5th card kind of resets. And then all of them will shift down and then 1 new card would come out, which I will do when I reset all the cards. I'm going to gain long-term happiness based on where I'm at on the popularity track. I'm still in the 1 column because there's 3 lines in the 1 column. I'm going to go up to 7, but because of time going by, I do lose a popularity, so I do go down 1. Upkeep phase, I'm going to go to the next round of the adult phase here in the game. Discard all cards from the board. So everything kind of gets wiped and everything is going to go underneath. So give me a second to do that. And we will get ready for the next round of the game. So probably right now, I'm not really too interested in the partners because I'm not going to change partners right now. Jobs, it would be nice to be able to do a promotion to a level 3 science job. So it'd be really nice if a level 3 arch job did not come out. Or a level 2, another arch job. Damn, should have gone the art route. That was kind of wrong of me. So Sonia's going to go to the bottom of the deck. We're going to put 2 people here. Claire and Rachel. And I'm going to have to stand up to actually do the community cards. That one's going to go to the bottom. These are all going to slide down. And then we're going to flip this one over on the top. I knew playing at this angle was going to be a little tricky, but we won't have to do that too many times. So the new card that we got is Meet the Parents. I have to have a partner for that one. It's a stress, but it would get me 3 long-term happiness. But popularity is what I need, so I'm definitely going to be looking at the popularity ones down there over the long-term happiness. I mean, I do got to get to 60 long-term happiness, but hopefully I can get there. So that was discard all cards on the board, draw new ones, gain or lose hourglass markers. I am not stressed, so I don't do any of that. My projects and my partners and jobs are all in good health. I have to now pay upkeep costs. Catherine has an upkeep cost of $2. For that, I will get 1 knowledge. I will get 1 creativity. And I will get 1 influence. And I read that wrong. I was actually thinking earlier that I had to pay that stuff, and I actually get that stuff. So I read that wrong. But I did not read it incorrectly for my job. The interesting thing about a job is jobs take time. A level 1 job is going to take 1 of your hourglasses. A level 2 job is going to take 2 of your hourglasses. A level 3 job is going to take 3 of your hourglasses. But a level 3 job gets you $16 each round, which is very nice to be able to have that much flexibility with money, because a lot of the items and activity cards lower on in the levels of them, in the higher levels, you're just getting a lot of long-term happiness, which is pretty much the name of the game. So for my job, it's going to cost me 2 hourglasses. It's going to cost me 2 knowledge. It's going to cost me a creativity. And for that, I'm going to get another $11. So I'm still sitting pretty good on money because I really haven't spent too much. So what I could possibly do is I could just start buying cards and jumping down to the lowest level, but I'd have to really watch my money when doing that, because the upkeep costs on some of those cards could get to be pretty hefty. The dine out one right here, the fine dining, might be the way I go because there's no upkeep cost on it. But some of these ones that do have an upkeep cost for like $6, you're going to get 2 long-term happiness each round as long as you're paying that $6. So that was the upkeep phase. We're going to go to the action phase. So I have 4 workers I'm working with as well as my meeple. I am at 1 popularity, so if I wanted to, I could put an hourglass and actually do 2 of the community cards. But let's see what I have resource-wise. I have quite a bit of creativity. I'm a little low on knowledge right now. So I need something that's going to give me some long-term happiness. I really don't want to start one of these projects that's going to last a while. So it looks like I'm going to be doing a group project. So let's see how that works. I'm going to take a project. I'm going to do the group project. Since it's a group project, a new project will come out. That's election campaign. That would have been a nice one because it's a nice single round one. And I probably could have done that easily and gotten 6 long-term happiness. Card $1 late, $1 short there. So when you do a group project, you actually take your hourglass off of there. And I'm going to pick one of the boxes that are over here based on what I want to do. I can be a manager for 3 influence and $6 and get 3 long-term happiness. And I think that's what we're going to do. That's going to get me 3 long-term happiness, bump me up to 10. I think for my next one, I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to dine out. We're going to jump right down to that lowest level of fine dining. You know what? No, I think we're going to go to level 2 because we're going to milk this for a little bit of long-term happiness. That's going to cost me $3, so I'm going to get $2 back. And it's going to get me it's going to get me an influence. I mean, not creativity. It's going to give me an influence and 2 long-term happiness. So if I actually want to take one of my hourglasses and put it over here, I can actually go down to the next level, spend $5 and do the next item, but I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. Because we need to start looking at getting some popularity down here. I think what we're going to do is we don't need to relax. The best one out there is probably New Family Next Door. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to engage with this. So when I engage with that, I probably should have done that before I did my project because it would have saved me a resource. Because this is going to cost me an influence and I get a short-term happiness. So this is where you kind of want to watch how you're doing your actions and what how you do them and in what order. Because now that I have 1 short-term happiness, any project I interact with, I can actually spend 1 less resource. And some of the other actions over here on this amateur theater, I could probably get away with doing I could probably take a study action and get 4 knowledge. And then I can actually take a project and I can jump back over here to my group project and I can become a director. For 4 knowledge, which still leaves me some for my job. For creativity, I'm going to get 2 long-term happiness, as well as 2 influence. Oh, I put the knowledge in the wrong place. All right, end of the round. Gain additional rewards from group projects. So since I went here twice, this is going to get me $6. So I'm definitely not hurting for money this game. And I'm going to get 2 long-term happiness. So this card is set. I'm going to take those off and set this over here since that's kind of completed. Set aside single and group projects, which we just did. I'm going to take back all my hourglasses. Determine first round. I'm going to be first player still, solo game. I reset all of my actions, so that short-term happiness is going to get reset back there. We're not into the 5th round yet, so we don't have to cover up our overtime. I'm going to engage or do my outcome with my community card down here. So I'm going to go ahead and for $3, I'm going to take the level 3 outcome, which is going to give me 2 popularity. Getting so close to that too, as well as 2 influence for the new family next door. This card's going to go on the bottom of the pile. This 5th card is going to get removed from the game. These are going to slide down. 2 new cards will come out when I do the card reset phase. Hopefully I did that right last round. I think I did. I am going to get 1 long-term happiness for my community popularity down there. And then I'm going to lose 1 popularity. So I'm going to go down 1. So I need to find a card that's going to give me 2 more popularity to push me up into that 2 so I can get 2 more long-term happiness. Community phase is done. I am back to the upkeep phase. We're advancing the round marker. We're pretty much just about ready to hit old age here. We're going to have 1 more round before old age. So I got 2 more rounds of adulthood here. I did do that right, Kimmy? Thank you. I thought I did. Discard all cards from the board. So we have, oh, you know what? A new card should have come out here when I took that item. I sometimes forget to do that. But I usually catch it when I go to clean up. So I always flip over the card just because it was supposed to be out there. I do that. All right. Hopefully I can make it into old age because I'm not getting any of those cards with the hearts on them. So that could definitely cause me to lose a round of the game with in a solo game trying to hit 60 points. That could be kind of tricky. It would be nice if I could also get a level 3 science job to come out. We have a technician, which is just a level 1 science job. I said level 3, please. And then a biologist, which is another level 1 science job. So my level 2 science job, I am going to be stuck with. Claire and Rachel are hitting the bottom of the deck. And we will have Tammy as well as Mel come out. I'm going to stand up real quick and get rid of the 2 community cards here and flip over a new one and another one. Whoa, what is this one? Blind date. Partner 2nd level. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've done that one. I was just thinking that long-term happiness is hard to reach in solo game. I'm thinking it's going to be, Kimmy. I'm thinking it's going to be. So I'm looking for stuff down there that's going to give me popularity, and I really don't see a lot of popularity down there. And it kind of stinks that those cards don't reset in a single-player game. Well, I could do the Noisy Neighbor. I thought I did the Noisy Neighbor. Didn't I do? No, I didn't do the Noisy Neighbor, did I? I did the new family next door. I didn't do the Noisy Neighbor. Although I thought, Kim, did I do the noisy neighbor? Do you know? That card, I thought I did that one. Let me know if I did or not. I'm going to start the next round up here. Advance the round marker, discard all cards from the board, gain or lose hourglasses, count the total number of partners, pay my upkeep costs. I'm still dating Catherine. $2 gets me a knowledge. I did do that card. I did do Noisy Neighbor. I thought I did. I wonder if I pulled the wrong card off of there, actually. So if I pulled the wrong card off, I apologize. Might have made a little mistake there. But that's all right. I believe so too, Kimmy. We're going to go ahead and do that. Although that doesn't help me out much because I was hoping for a card with more popularity, and I don't really see it down there. Oh, well. So I paid my $2 for Catherine. I took a knowledge. I don't think I took a knowledge. I'm going to take a knowledge. If I did take a knowledge, I have one extra. Creativity and influence. Although probably taking an extra one in this game where I'm trying to lose all of this stuff. I don't know how the heck I'm going to be able to get rid of some of this stuff. Because if I have to be down to 2 of everything, I am at 5 or 6 of everything right now. So this could get interesting. Science. For my science job of engineer, 2 workers. I'm going to do 2 knowledge. And 1 creativity. And I'm going to get another $11. All right. That's all of my upkeep costs because I really haven't taken anything else with upkeep costs. What can I get that has a lot of long-term happiness to it? Well, both of these projects are going to take me a while to do. So that's going to be kind of hard to complete them. But I might just have to do one. Because I kind of need to get some of that long-term happiness and get some of the score rolling up. So let's go ahead and take a project. And I'm going to start off with student activism. And I'm going to start off as a demonstrator. It's going to take creativity and get me 2 influence. I can up my relationship with Catherine. And that'll just get me more resources. Getting to raising a family with her is 2 long-term happiness. And it's 5 long-term happiness each round if I do that, but wow. She gives a lot of resources when I do the relationship with her, and I really don't want to take that much resources, but I kind of may have to. I think what we're going to do is we have a lot of money, so let's actually start spending some on some of these activities. I'm going to go see a popular band for $3. So I'm going to get $2 back. That's going to give me 4 creativity. Oh, this is not looking good. There's no way I'm going to be able to get rid of all these resources. And 1 long-term happiness. I'm going to dine out with fine dining for $5. And that's going to give me 2 influence. As well as 3 long-term happiness. So it's going to bump me up to 21. I have my worker left here. I got a lot of creativity, so I think what I might do is babysit. Because when I babysit, I actually get 1 popularity. And now that I look, when I complete it, it's going to cost me creativity, which I have a lot of. And it's going to give me a popularity to push me up into that second row to get 2 long-term happiness. And I'm going to get a little bit of cash out of that. And cash isn't going to hurt me at the end. So that's, I think, a good thing to do. I have 1 more worker left. And a new actual project should have come out. I don't want to take that, though, because I don't want to get some stress. But it has popularity, which would have been nice. I could actually do another activity and get my 5th activity and do the World Cup and just jump all the way down to spending 4 gold and getting 3 long-term happiness. But I think I might do that. I'm going to take this activity. That'll give me my 5th activity. I'm not going to jump all the way down. We're going to go to the tournament because I don't need a rest. I don't need the short-term happiness. I'm pretty much out of workers. I'm not going to be doing much else this round. So for $2, I'm going to get 2 long-term happiness, and that's going to bump me up to 23. End of the round. We're going to go ahead and do the end of round stuff. I have no single round projects or group projects. Take back all my hourglasses. Determine first round, me. Reset all indicators. I'm reset because I didn't get any. My community outcome is going to be the babysitting card. So while I'm down here, I'm going to try not to mess this up this time. That 5th card is going to go away. These are going to slide down. So for my babysitting action, I'm going to do outcome number 3, which is going to cost me 4 creativity. I have a 5 here, so I'm going to take 1 back. That's going to give me 4 gold. I'm going to take a 5 and put 1 back, as well as 1 popularity. Yay. These cards are going to go here. That's going to flip out, which is nice because there is 2 popularity, and this one has resources, which I really don't care for. So we're definitely going to be doing that found money next round. I'm going to get 2 long-term happiness for this, and bump down 1 here. That is the end of the community outcome phase. We are back to the upkeep phase. We're going to go into our last round of adulthood. We're going to discard all cards from the board like we have been. And pretty much by now, if a heart comes out, I don't think it's really going to do me much good. And there is a heart. Parkour. Because I have this project here that I've already taken. And I think I would have to take a stress to actually do that. Let me look in the book and actually see if we can get rid of the card. I'm pretty sure you can, but I'm going to look this one up real quick. I just want to see if I can find it. Getting rid of a card. I thought you could, but I thought it just cost you a stress to be able to do that. Advance in action, upgrade in action, develop in action, get a promotion, stress track. If at any time during the action phase you want to stop having a card in front of you, you may discard it, but you will get 1 stress and lose 1 short-term happiness. I think I'm kind of fine with that. So I think we're actually going to get rid of that student activism card and actually take the parkour card and try to pound our way through that to see if we can get down into that track, but that's going to be close. That's going to be very, very difficult because let's reset the rest of the board first before we continue doing that. Another card should have got flipped over here when I took that one. It is a board game collection, which I would have loved to have had. I normally do get that card, but not get this game. We got a sound system, headphones, and skiing. Job-wise, it doesn't look like we're going to get into our level 3 job because right now, doing a promotion into a level 3 job probably isn't going to pay off for me. So, and a level 3 job just came out. Seriously. But it would cost me 9 knowledge, 3 creativity, and 3 influence. Oh, no, that's retirement. It would cost, what's my promotion? 7 knowledge. I would have to do a study action to do that. And I actually might do that. But then that's going to take 3 of my workers, which is really going to impede me from getting down on this card over here. So I don't think I'm going to go to... I have enough money. I don't think I'm going to go to a level 3 job right now. I think it would probably hurt me if I actually did. I think we're going to try to play it a little bit different this game. considering solo-wise, you have different things you're going for. That's all set because I've already done all that. Discard all cards, gain or lose hourglasses, we're good there. Count my projects, we're good there. Pay upkeep costs. So my upkeep costs, let's get all these workers off of Catherine. They should not be on Catherine. I'm going to pay $2 for my upkeep with Catherine. It's going to get me a knowledge. It's going to get me an influence. And it's going to get me a creativity. I'm going to put 2 workers on my science job. It's going to cost me 2 knowledge and a creativity for another $11. Yeah, but Darth Molly, you do have to really think through some of this stuff, especially solo. This is very interesting solo. Never really thought about playing it solo before, but it's not that bad solo. You just really have to plan out a lot of your actions. So I think we're going to do what we talked about doing. We're going to get rid of our student activism card. So we're going to go ahead and discard this. I'm just going to put this to the bottom of the deck because I really don't have a discard pile. So that's going to cost me a stress. And I'm going to lose 1 short-term happiness. Now when I do a project, it's going to cost me additional resources. So the first thing I want to do is take this project, take this. It's going to cost me a knowledge as well as 2 creativity, since I have more creativity than knowledge. And it's actually going to make me lose 1 more short-term happiness. I need a cube to put this here. I wanted to do that again, but man, paying all those resources is going to cost me a lot to be able to do that 1 more time. But if I don't do it now, it's going to be very difficult for me not to be able to. How can I get my short-term happiness back up? What can give me some quick short-term happiness? Summer Fling, that's a project though. New project should have come out when I took that one. Does anything give me some short-term happiness? Yes. Yes. An item here. Anything else over here I have give me short-term happiness? No, that's all long-term happiness. We'll do those later. I need to do a spend action and take the headphones. And for $1, I'm going to buy some earphones, and I'm going to get 2 creativity, not cost 2 creativity, and I'm going to get a short-term happiness. I'm going to upgrade my headphones to Behemoth Jets for $3. So I'm going to get $2 back. It's going to get me 2 creativity, which I really don't want. I'm not going to be able to get rid of all of this influence I have, so I'm pretty much know I'm not going to win this game. It's going to put me back here to being even with my short-term happiness and get me a long-term happiness. I'm then going to parkour, which is going to move this up 1, which is going to cost me 2 creativity for 3 knowledge and 1 long-term happiness. Over here, I'm going to do the Found Lost Money, which is going to cost me $3. To engage with that. That is going to be the end of my round. During my end of round phase, I'm going to gain additional project rewards, set those aside, take my hourglasses back. You come back up here. Determine first round. Back in the middle, so we're all good there. Reset all indicators. Just did that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of the 5th round. This goes on overtime because as we enter old age, I can't do overtime. I really didn't do any overtime this game, so no big deal. We're on to the community outcome phase. I'm going to go ahead and grab this card here. Since this is the one I'm doing, I'm going to give it to charity. Oh, actually, I was supposed to get $3, not pay $3. It doesn't matter. I have enough money. Well, the $3 that I gave, that I got before, I just put back in there, so it's a wash. We'll say it's a wash. I'm going to get a creativity. I have to spend a creativity. And I get 2 popularity. 1, 2. So we're going to move up a little there. So both of these cards are going to go under the deck. These cards are going to slide down. This is going to go here. This is going to go there. So there. I am done with resetting the community deck. That is how I should have done that the whole game, because that was nice and easy. I'm going to get 2 long-term happiness due to my popularity. I'm going to lose a popularity right there. And I think we are done with the community outcome phase, back to the upkeep phase, advancing the round marker. And I'm actually going to take 3 stress. 1, 2, 3. So because I didn't finish that, that could be a little tricky. But we're going to try to decrease that here this round. Discard all cards from the board. So the minute you move into old age, you take that stress like I was talking about at the beginning of the game. And as you can see, I'm going to lose a worker this round because of that. So, a new card should have come out when I bought that one. So we'll flip over Skydiving and discard it, since that should have been there. So we got a shooting range, comic book collection, and a personal gym. So a lot of the things in this game are actually, I think, very thematic for being a game similar to life. We have an animator, which is a level 2 job, or a lab assistant, which is a level 1 science job. Aaron and Sherry are going to go away. I don't know why I keep putting out new partners. I guess just to kind of go through the deck and just to show you what everything's supposed to happen each round, because I'm not taking another partner. I'm just going to stick with the one I have. Gain or lose hourglasses based on my stress. I lose an hourglass because I am in the yellow area. Pay my upkeep costs, $2. So I'm going to get 3 back. That is my cost for dating Catherine. I'm going to get a knowledge. I'm going to get a creativity. And I'm going to get an influence as well. And there is no way in hell I'm going to get rid of this stuff in the next round or so. My job is going to cost me 2. It costs me 2 knowledge and a creativity for another $11 back in pay. So I got plenty of money. I just don't have the ability to get rid of all of these resources that I currently have accumulated over my lifespan here. Those are my upkeep costs. None of my other things currently have an upkeep cost. My headphones do when I take the next one, but we haven't taken it yet. So I think we're on to the next round of the game. I need to get my stress down, because if I get it down to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that would give me that extra round to get me a few more points. I'm only at 30 points. I'm at 29 right now. I'm supposed to be at 60. I don't really know how I'm going to get to 60 in the next round or so. I think that's pretty much unlikely to happen. And there's no way I'm going to be able to get rid of all these resources. So this may not be a win, but at least everybody will understand how to play the game, and maybe you can actually beat it, because it doesn't look like I'm going to. I think one of the first things we're going to need to do is we need to get that going over here with our parkour. We're going to pay 2 knowledge, a creativity, for 2 influence, and 2 long-term happiness. So if I have to do this or I die next time. So for me to get up to that final level of parkour, it's going to cost me to put a worker there, but Climb Buildings has an extra hourglass there. So it's going to take me 2 hourglasses to actually get down to this lowest level, and I don't even have enough knowledge to do that. So I might have, I took him from my engineer. I might be completely hosed here if I can't get a couple of quick knowledge somehow, because I did not realize that. So I don't really think there's anything that's going to give me knowledge before being able to do that, because everything is going to cost knowledge. I have none of, because I'm not going to be able to do this. I think this might be my last round. I can't do a study action. I mean, I guess I could have lost my job, which would have been the only thing to save me. Well, that wouldn't have even given me enough. Because I only have 1 knowledge right now, and I need 3 knowledge. Oh, thanks, Jedi. Appreciate it. Today's podcast was just me talking about some of the games I played. I talked about Noria, Monsters and Minions from Role Player expansion. I talked a little bit about this, and I talked about Seventh Continent, because I've been playing Seventh Continent lately. Yep, I think we're pretty much done here. So I guess what can I do to get victory points? Because there's no way I'm going to be able to jump up to that final level. Oh, that kind of sucks. The biggest thing that's going to get me victory points is going to my headphones, spending $6 to get some Deets by Prey, which is going to get me 3 influence, which I don't even need, and 3 long-term happiness, so it's going to bump me up to 34. I can do go see a concert for $5, which is going to get me 5 more influence, which I don't want. 5 creativity, and 2 long-term happiness is going to put me up to 35 because I was at 33. Down here, I can take something that has money. Is there anything that's going to let me really do 2? That would keep me in 2. I mean, I could do the Neighborhood Watch, I guess, because that has 2 popularity down on the bottom. It's going to cost me 2 influence to engage with it. That's pretty much going to be the end of my round. We're going to go through our different projects. Group projects, side projects are going to get set aside. I'm going to take back all my hourglasses, and I'm pretty much going to be dead. I didn't make it into that second old age, which kind of bums me completely out. Where's my other hourglass? 3, 4, 5. Oh, I lost the hourglass. That's why. That's going to reset. And we're going to do this card, which I'm not going to reset any cards this time right now. I'm going to take a stress for Neighborhood Watch. Oh, I can't even do that last one because I don't have the knowledge. That's kind of funny. Creativity, 2 influence. I guess we'll go with the middle one. I didn't even notice that. My outcome is 2 knowledge. Would have been nice to have had that before. A popularity. There is no way I can get up to 3 popularity. And 2 long-term happiness. 37. So that card would go to the bottom of the deck. But we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to get 2 long-term happiness because of where I'm at popularity-wise. I'm going to go down 1 on the popularity track. We would come to the upkeep phase, advance the round marker. I would be off of the stress track with the +6 that just gave me. I listened to it while I organized Gloomhaven. Yeah, I'm the second wave for 7th Continent. Yeah, I was second wave for 7th Continent. I just sleeved my cards the other day. Luckily, Mayday had a May 1st sale for sleeves, so I got about 40 packs of sleeves from them for a pretty decent price, I will say. They were 30% off. But I was definitely, after playing the game twice, I wanted to get it sleeved because I know there's some people down at my friendly local game store that want me to bring it down there and play, and I didn't want to take it down there unsleeved. So my base set is sleeved, and it took a little while to do that. So I pretty much died. That is pretty much the end of the game. So what you normally do at the end of the game is When you die, you pass on your loved ones your most valuable possessions. For every 5 resources, you get a long-term happiness. For every 5 money, you get a long-term happiness. So I got a crap load of resources here. So we're going to get 3, 5, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. There's another 5. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to get 7 additional points for that. That one should be right over there because I'm just dead. So that would take me up to 46. Life goals. First life goal, focused. Have at most 2 of everything when you die. I was not focused. I have way more than 2 of all resources. Die after the second round of old age. I died in the first round of I died at the second round of old age, but not after. Participate in 5 activities. Hey, I did it all in life. I participated in all 5, at least 5 activities. So I had that. That was about the only thing I successfully did in this game. I ended up at around 46 points, which is about, Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, that's about half of the score that we normally get. We're normally well into the 100 plus in this game. I don't know if I made any mistakes here. I think playing solo is quite difficult. That's why 60 must be a win. Because this was very, very tricky to actually complete and accomplish, especially with these 3 life goals over here. Trying to do that and complete those besides get to 60 points with the community edition. I mean, I guess I was close with the base game, but trying to get 10 more points with the community, that was just real rough. It was hard that the card, that parkour, that project came out basically the round before I hit old age. Had that come out one more round earlier, I think it would have definitely changed the game. I would have had that one extra round. It would have gotten me probably closer to 60. I don't think I probably would have reached it at that point even. I had enough money to maybe purchase some items very quickly for some nice, quick, long-term happiness, which is sometimes what I do later on in the game. I will just purchase some things. Unlike, like I was talking about at the beginning of the game, unlike your projects where you have to go down all the way, unless if it's a one round project, a single round project, or a group project, when you're working a normal project, you have to go down each level in a row. You can't skip levels. With items and activities, you can jump down to the bottom one immediately to the highest level. But you have to be able to pay the cost. 2, the reward's going to be really nice, but then there's mostly, like I said, usually an upkeep cost on those. And I really wasn't doing that upkeep cost. Maybe I should have taken some items that had that upkeep cost to get maybe those couple of additional long-term happiness points each round, which I didn't get this game because I had more concentrated on those 5 activities, which didn't have any of that upkeep cost on them. I mean, I had enough money to be able to afford probably a couple of them. But I think that's about it. That is the Pursuit of Happiness with the community expansion. I will say, Kim, like I said at the beginning of the episode, Kim and I both like the community expansion. We think it kind of rounds out the game really nicely. It doesn't make the game that much more complex. If you can handle playing this game, you can handle adding in community quite easily. This isn't a very difficult worker placement game. As you can see, the choices are very simple. The thing that might get the most confusing is doing the projects and only having like those 3 kind of cards in front of you and remembering that. The community cards are pretty easy. You engage with them, putting your worker on there, and then you do the outcome, and you choose your outcome level. So it's, like I said, it doesn't really add the difficulty to it, like some other expansions do for some other games. But like I said, it does round it out nicely. I think I would always play with the community on there. Playing with just the base game is just a little, it almost seems like it's missing something. And that community action just really gives you just that little bit more choice, I think, that the game kind of needed to kind of make it just a little bit more fun. But hopefully everybody liked the video. We might be back on Tuesday with a video. If not Tuesday, I will be back Wednesday, probably with another solo stream. And I might be doing another 7th continent. I had some audio issues with my last one. And if you're watching the stream and my audio isn't working, let me know. Somebody didn't let me know till closer to the end. And I had done a bunch of audio testing and I thought everything was working and didn't realize that there were some audio issues going on. But I had just done some major upgrades on the laptop. I had just done some upgrades to XSplit. One setting in XSplit was reset that I did not catch, and it kind of bit me in the ass. But we got that all fixed now. Everything seemed to work good for tonight's stream. So we'll be back in the middle of the week. Just watch out for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow us on there on all three. You'll know when we're going live, or subscribe to us on Twitch. We would really like to grow the Twitch channel a little bit more. And I'll be throwing this video up to YouTube as well. Twitch.tv/whatimplayingnow is what you're watching right now. And then watch for the video on youtube.com/whatimplayingnow. But until then, everybody, have a great week gaming, and we will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.